Hello, I'm Adrian and welcome to the video where I will describe to you how I created my latest MGK I Think I'm Okay lyric video. Fun fact, MGK actually replied to me on my post, which is pretty awesome. All the files that I'm showing you are available on my Patreon for $5+ tier, just for the educational purposes, so if you want to play around with them, they are available on my Patreon. Link is below. Let's deep dive into those files right now. When I was thinking about making this lyric video, I wanted to create something quicker than usual, because all my lyric videos usually takes like 40 hours to complete, which is pretty significant amount of work to put into something you are not getting paid for. So I was thinking about something simpler, just to showing the lyrics, and then I kind of build up on top of that idea, added a couple more elements. In this video there are 3 characters: MGK, Youngblood and Travis Barker. At the very beginning I have the MGK, as you can see, playing on the guitar just like in the official video, and there is a little build for the character, and everything is drawn on 3s, which means the graphic will change every 3 frames. There is an exception for it, for eyes that are blinking not on 3s, and mouth shapes for lip sync are not changing on actual 3s, but on synced with the music. So the character is also, as you will see here, this motion, the entire motion here is generated by Quake node, and on the Quake node you can see its hold time 3 frames. That's very important, and in some places I applied it on Z depth as well, but in some I haven't. It shouldn't be locked, it shouldn't be local actually, because it's the one value for all the image that I'm creating, and that's pretty much it. I also added some rotational amplitude from place to place. I wish I could set the pivot point for this. Moving on. The Quake node is added, as you can see, to the whole character, but always to the particular places, and that was pretty important because I have for the head another Quake, but here for the arm, just for the arm that's playing the guitar, there is a front and the back, just a thumb, but this Quake have only X-axis, which means I'm generating the move of the playing on the guitar, as you can see right now. This move is generated. I actually made it on 12, so every 12 frame this move is happening, and it's not looking like it's generated, isn't it? So that was this. For the guitar it's also on 3s, and so on and so on, and also with playing on the guitar this hand is also generated. So just a simplistic approach, taking not too much work to make it happen, with a very simple build here to make it work. Then I have the MGK head that's appearing later on the screen, and lyrics. The lyrics are created very simple. I'm gonna show you just a little part of it. There is actual lyric here, and I'm just pretty much appearing them on the screen and disappearing them. But to make the transition smooth, I split the lyrics on 2 layers. So as you will see here, is like a chain reaction where the lyrics are appearing on 1 layer and then on the second layer. First, second. In this case, I was able to place the lyrics one on top of another because it was the split, as you will see here. So once the one lyric is disappearing, the other one is matching together and just flowing instead of switching one to another. And I appear them with a mask. This mask I drew with the toonboom brushes, which is pretty cool. I like this. So something like this appears. I just draw it frame by frame until it fills up the entire screen in black. So it have this cool kind of an effect where not everything is just black or not black, but there are like places like this which is semi-transparent. It looks more interesting than just doing one mask that will just move and appear the lyrics. And that was pretty much everything for this video. At the very end of the first chorus, I moved the character down, and at this point the character don't have the head, and at this point the character don't have the head anymore. As you can see, the exposure here is missing, and there is a place where my MGK head appears. And this is pretty much it. Now there is a transition for the next scene. If you want me to create a tutorial for a lip sync, because I did lip sync by my own hands, I tried to generate the lip sync because I thought it would be a cool idea to generate everything in this video, but it was impossible. I don't know if any software have a good lip sync thing to make it generated. I have couple techniques for this, a couple thoughts that I would love to share. If you want me to make a lip sync tutorial, please leave a comment, hit a like on this video, and well, I might make one. I would love to. So that was the first chorus. Then I switched to the first verse of MGK, and as you can see, there is just an MGK. Because of the stylistic choice to make everything on threes, I have couple elements here that are appearing throughout the entire video, and if you will focus on those elements, you will see that I put some marks on the exposures. So you will actually see I draw 3 images for the every single object, and it's slightly different. So it looks like the line is moving around, and it keeps that flow over and over. So as you can see here, all those elements have some movement that's done also on threes, and I did it in a very simple way. I created some keyframes, and then I moved the object, and then I grab everything together, and I clicked this icon here, and it creates for me keyframe for every third frame, as you can see. So I don't have to split those things over and over by my hand. If you don't have this icon here, you can right click, customize, and go to the toolbar manager, and you can find this icon somewhere. So for me it's on the very bottom, tb_create keyframes on it, and then hit apply, OK, and the icon appears with this. Keep in mind that the selection is 2849. I had that issue at some point where it couldn't cross the 100 mark, so I had to put the last frame by my own hand, which is creepy. I don't know why I had this bug at some point, but if it will not work, make sure that this number, the last frame, is on there. Okay, moving forward, there's nothing too complicated here other than I showed you. There is a little bit of camera motion. The camera motion is also done on threes to keep everything together with the style, and as you can see, there is a Travis Barker build for this video here. I wanted to appear Travis on this video not just as a head, because he had a huge influence for this video, so I decided to draw the entire character drumming, and to make it simpler, I decided to not have so much animation on it, but just a simple thing as other elements on the video. So those hi-hats, those drums, has also the Quake node here, as well as the Travis head and other parts. And for the hands, it was actually impossible to generate this motion of drumming, so I kind of created it by my hand. Some images that are just switching. If you will go to a drawing view, you will notice that I drew like 3 images, and I just switched between those 3 images. One that was above the drum, one on the drum, and one on the very top. And that was pretty much everything I did to animate Travis Barker drumming. At the very end of this scene, Travis is raising his arms up, and that was another one drawing that I did. And as you can see, everything is kind of moving because of that. You can notice that the lyrics are appearing in front of the character and then on the back of the character, and this happens, as I said before, because I haven't clicked out the apply on Z depth, so those 2 elements are switching each other's on the Z depth, and that's why it is working this way. At the very end, because I made the transition, I put everything on the cutter node here, so the same mask that I used for the lyrics is appearing on the whole scene to make everything disappear. That was a cool thing to add to match everything with the style, although that wasn't a very smart choice, because if I have the entire scene cut with a cutter and a mask that is a kind of a raster drawing, it makes it makes the render very long. Make sure that you know what you are doing when you are using cutters. Let's go to the third scene. As you can see, there is a chorus, all the characters lip sync. I created some of the eyes, just a frame by frame. I could make a little setup for the eyes, but I was just like going with the flow. I just drew a couple of them, and that wasn't too complicated to make the blinks and pupils looking at the different directions, and that was pretty much how I done the eyes. That was my go-to setup, and that was pretty much what I wanted this song to look like before I started to build up on top of that. The next scene is the Youngblood singing his part, and also I appeared couple elements. The head of the Youngblood is created in a very same way than MGK. I even named this backdrop MGK face. This is pretty easy. Some of the motion and things that you already saw in the previous scenes. Then there is a next chorus which is kind of reused. There's nothing too different to this, just a lyrics switching, and then there is an outro which is also very the same. And this is pretty much it for how I created MGK I Think I'm Okay lyric videos. And as I said at the beginning, all those files are available on my Patreon for $5 plus tier. Check my Patreon for this, check my Instagram because I'm posting there those things as well. If the YouTube notification will not work for you, you can check that I actually posted something on my Instagram. And well, what can I say? Have a wonderful day and see you around. Cheers!